Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the Eastern European TCR podcast. My guest today is no one smaller than the 2022 Eastern European TCR champion, the fresh champion, Bartosz Groszek. Bartosz, welcome in the podcast.
Thank you for having me, welcome.
Bartosz, I've just said you are the 2022 Eastern European TCR champion. How does it sound?
It sounds amazing, I still cannot believe this. I think it will come into me like tomorrow maybe, because at the moment I still cannot believe that.
Because 2 years back, round about at this time, you were still Justin, very successful, but an esports racing driver, dreaming about going real. How did it actually happen that you got your first chance? Because you made your debut last season in Poland on your home soil. How did it come about to race for Aditys Racing?
Yeah, I was racing before with the BTC team. I got invited by Lukas Stolarczyk, friend of mine. And after some endurance races, I was lucky to be invited by Mr. Krenek to race under the Asset Race Star program. And luckily I was able to start with the Aditys team, with Radim. And we made the decision after Poznań to keep it going to the end of the season. And we made, I think, pretty good last season. So we think we'll try another time this season to win the championship. And at the end, we achieved this.
Of course, when we come back to your debut in Poznań, you scored a victory immediately on your debut weekend in the second race. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was amazing. At the beginning, I wasn't very happy after the qualifying. I knew I have the pace on the home soil, but we made some small mistakes and we end up, I think, P6 or P7. And we were struggling in the traffic in the first one, but luckily the reverse grids put us on the pole and we just defend the pole and we did this. I wasn't thinking, for me the goal for the Poznań, the first race, was maximum top 3, but we didn't, so I was happy.
To me it seems, because whenever I visit your garage, that you really click really well with your team. How's the atmosphere? How do you like it in the team?
Yeah, the atmosphere is very good. It's like one big family, everyone is supporting each other. We are chatting about the telemetry between 3 of our cars. This is our advantage because we have more cars, so we have more telemetry to compare. And we are one big family.
And you also have funny challenges within the team with your teammate and boss, Radim Adamek. So I guess you enjoy that very much.
Yeah, we want to make something in the free time between the races, so we make small challenges, and we still have one more to go with the ping pong after the podcast.
Okay, so after your debut in Poznań, in every single remaining race of that season, you finished on the podium. So you were really on a wave, and that must have felt really good at the end of the season. You came P4 overall in the standings, but that must have really prepared your appetite for this championship, for this season.
Yeah, the goal for this season was also to keep the podium strike, but I wasn't managed to do that, which I was really a little bit upset after the Hungaroring, that I missed my podium strike. But the main goal was to win the championship, and we managed that, so we don't care about the podiums. The only goal was the championship.
There was another big, let's say, milestone that you reached in last season, because you also made your debut in the European TCR. You started at Monza. How did that go?
Oh, I think it was really great. We started with the ballast because of the new driver, and the field in the Monza race was very big, because I think it was 25 or 26 cars. We end up in top 10, I think, in both races. So I'm very happy with the debut in the TCR Europe with just 2 practice on the new track with much higher field. It was very amazing.
You opened the 2022 season with a dominant win, first in qualifying, then in the race in Hungary. It was also raining, but as you said, then the podiums stopped coming, and after the good start, also Peter Semerat started closing in. Did you get nervous in that part of the season?
Yeah, a little bit. I wasn't expecting Bartosz Semerat to be so fast. Especially, I didn't race with him before. Just the last round, I think, in Brno. He was invited with the Cupra. He wasn't that fast, so I didn't expect him to fight for the championship. But as you said, the podiums stopped coming, so he was closing the gaps. They had much faster cars, and but luckily we were ending every race in, I think, top 5. And he had a technical problem in the Red Bull ring in the first race, which helped us stay in the lead in the championship.
How does Bartosz Groszek generally deal with pressure? Does it crawl on you a lot, or do you not admit it? What is your attitude?
No,
under
I'm
pressure?
used to the pressure in the before when I was driving the sim. You race in the endurance races with a lot of pressure on you, especially when you're driving in a high rank. So I didn't feel that much pressure. I think in this weekend, in the home soil of Peter, he has bigger pressure on him because he knew he's very fast there. So I think I was in better position to win the championship.
Does driving more and more, because Eastern European TCR, it's just 6 weekends, so does driving more and more, even between the weekends, help with the pressure?
Oh no, I don't think so, because during the test you run just lonely, and when you are on the starting grid and the lights go out, there is different feeling, so you couldn't compare the feeling from the race to the test sessions.
But you did make yourselves rather occupied after, what was it, Croatia, when you flew to the UK to decide, and you joined a 24-hour karting race. How did that go?
Yeah, that was amazing. We were invited, luckily, to take part, to help the Polish team to take part in a 24-hour karting race. I only did this race in the indoor track. This one was on the outside with only slick tires, and in the British weather is mostly raining, so the race was very fun, especially with almost 100 cars on the track with the similar cars. I enjoyed this race very much.
What was the biggest challenge about that weekend? Is it the sheer fact that it's really 24 hours of racing, or the extremely large competition?
I think the most difficult was to race with the slick tires in the fully rainy conditions in the night. When the visibility was 0, I needed to wipe my windshield every corner because there was very poor visibility, and also the light condition on the track in some corners were mostly dark, so it was very hard.
Before that, we were talking about the Croatian round, which was arguably the last round of this season, where you were really dominant because you had a very good pace. You showed that in quali. Then you kind of didn't start into the first race, but you charged all through the field. How was that race?
We had very big problems with the starts, I think, through all of the season. And unfortunately, I stalled on the start. I needed to go from the back of the grid. But we knew the Audi is very strong on this track, and also Peter have some ballast, and he didn't know this track, so we have the advantages. But the track conditions and the weather was very hot. But I think we were running with very good pace, and we were close to win with the Milovan, but he has some more experience comparing to me, and he made some tricks to stop me on the last lap. And
What was the trick?
the trick was that he a little bit brake earlier coming to the uphill, and I just bumped him on the brakes, and he just ran away from me.
So clever stuff from Milovan.
Yeah, he's a very clever guy.
And then came Slovakia, where of course you had lots of extra kilos because of the BOP, and all through the weekend you were then struggling for pace. In such circumstances where you know that it's going to be hard to win, but big points are important, what is your approach?
The approach was to lost as low points as we can. So damage limitation like we did in the Red Bull Ring, even with 40 kilo, and we were almost 1 second, 1.5 seconds slower in the quali, we still managed to go with P4 in both races. And the same plan was to Slovakia, to lose as many points to the Semerat as possible. And we managed to end up behind him in both races, so we did our best with the ballast and it was okay.
And now the season finale, of course, here in Most. That was pretty heated. It actually started better off for you because Petr had a big crash in qualifying, so he was starting much more further towards the front. But then you actually lost to him in the race through a controversial, let's say, incident and a contact. How did that race feel to you?
The race felt great at the first. But I saw after lap 2, lap 3 that Petr is already behind me, and I was struggling to overtake Čížek or Steibel because they have much better top speeds, and so I only were chasing them on the brakes, but it wasn't enough for me to overtake. Then with Petr make the move under the Steibel in the first chicane. I was thinking maybe Steibel will block Semerat for a couple laps and we run away, but he immediately overtake him. And then comes the controversial incident between us. We discuss about this with each other. I wasn't happy about this because he turned into me. That's why he overtake me, but Stewart said it's normal racing incident, which I wasn't happy about it. But we'll say we had still second race to show who will be the championship.
It must have been an emotional roller coaster in the build-up to the very last race, the second race of the finale here in Most. Already in Slovakia, there were some incidents and penalties, then penalties cancelled, then similar stuff here in Slovakia, here in Most in the first race. And I was running between your two garages and there were incidents discussed, politics discussed, etc., etc. Can you maybe talk us through your emotions and how it evolved coming to the last race? Were you maybe losing hope at any point?
No, I was not. I knew that we had good pace on this track and it's hard to overtake there, so we had the position advantage in the first race, and also when we lost in the first race we still have the position gained for the second race, so I knew if we will be in front of him after the first two corners we'll be able to just end that before him, and that was enough. The controversial penalty on the Slovakia, I was very surprised when I went to the Park Ferme and they said to me that I have 10-second penalty. I was very surprised because I didn't know for what I get this. But later we managed to make the protest for this, and it ended up in the racing incident like it was in the Most.
In the end, you actually lost the lead in the championship, albeit by 1 point, heading into the very last race, but you were also starting one place ahead of Petr. What was coming through your head on the starting grid coming to that very last race of the season?
In my head was to make the good launch from the start, to not get overtaking on the starting straight. And then my plan was to stay on the outside of the first corner because I knew from the race 1 that everyone will stuck on the inside. So I think I made some positions in the first chicane. I make like 2-3 car lengths from Petr, so I have the advantages. And already after lap 2 I was in P2, so I have good position, just Yannick in front of me. So I was in better position in the race, but then come Petr full in. I wasn't expecting him to overtake me on the chicane. I was thinking that he will let us race each other with Peter Semeret and not fight with us, but he's on his home soil, home track, so he wants to win for his team, for his country. So I know this.
Yeah, so the initial phase actually went well for you. You stayed ahead of Petra, but then he came back after you, and you had at least 3 fights together. Another incident or near miss maybe in the first chicane, and it seemed like he was faster than you. How hard was that at that point?
I think we had a similar incident in the first chicane, but this time when I saw him on the left side, I closed the door fully, so he hit me on the behind. But in the same time, I was in the sandwich between both of the Yannick Motorsport cars, so it wasn't good. But we were struggling a little bit with the differential from lap 3, lap 4. I have some problem in the left wheel, that's why I was locking the fronts. It was when I overtake Yannick. In the first moment it was intentional because I locked both front tires, but he managed to move over and we have the good fight with Semeret. But unlucky, he had some technical problems later, and after that it was just to finish the race.
Yes, his race was then finished by technical issues, and from that point only a complete and unexpected disaster would have prevented you from taking the title. So was it actually hard to stay focused in the remainder, because you were then overtaken by Václav Janík, also Sebastian Steibl? How was the second part of the race when you knew that you only had the race to lose and basically were just cruising home?
In this moment you hear everything in the car that can break or something. I hear in the left front wheel that on the brake something was squeezing, and on the exit of the corner the left wheel was spinning and the right one had the grip, so I knew I have some problems with the differential. That's why I was avoiding curbs, and I said if they want to overtake me I will just let them by. I did this to Yannick in the first chicane, then Steibl made some move in the Matador corner. At the end, Cziszek wanted to overtake me, but if he wants to overtake me, I will just let him go, but he made some mistakes, and at the end I was in front of him.
Your car actually then stayed in one piece and you brought it home, and as you crossed the line and knew that you were going to become the champion, what was the feeling? What was on your mind?
I think the feeling was that you couldn't even describe the feeling after the checkered flag when we know that we won the championship. I think it was one of the best feelings in my life, and we were dreaming about this moment from the beginning of the season in Hungary.
That's what we are also very interested in. What does the future hold for you? What are the next plans?
I think the plan for the future is that TCR Europe, we were awarded with the entry fee for whole the season with some tires as well. So we have good start into the Europe, and I think we will start there with the new Audi, because this one is a little bit fast, but it's struggling with the top speed with the newer car. So I think we will need this faster car for the Europe, for the harder field.
And so before that happens, what is the plan for the winter that's coming?
For the winter, the plan is to train on the simulator. I have the 24-hour series esport season in front of me. It's mostly winter season, so we'll fight hard with my team in the TCR class, and we will see the competition is very high, so it will not be easy.
Bartosz, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and congratulations on your title. You can say some last words, maybe thank someone or whatever you want to say at the end of the season.
I want to thank my family for supporting me through all the season, and also to thank all the team, Radi, Mirza, everyone in the team for amazing job through all of the season. We proved that we are the best and we achieved what we came for. Thank you guys.
And we also want to thank you for joining us, and staying with us all through the season. It was an exciting one. We know the name of our 4th different Eastern European TCR champion, so we wish that we have more exciting seasons to come. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.